we are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, we heard Supreme Lord also appeared as Dhanvantari. He gave Ayurveda to cure all diseases. He inaugurated the medical science or the knowledge of medicine in the universe. So at that time, from him, and when preceptorial channel from him was intact, that science was 100% perfect. Whatever disease you have, you can get it cured without fail. There are different methods given, also from past life karma, how to remove that, because certain diseases are from past life's reactions. That is separate process. Certain yagya, certain mantra, certain like this, how to remove. So he did this. And he also can cure the disease of this material existence by giving devotion. Kshatram kshayaya vidino pampritam mahatma brahma druk ujita patam narakarti lipsu udhantyaso avani kantakam ugra viryas trih sapta kritva urudhara parashvadhena. When the ruling administrators, who are known as the Kshatriyas, turned astray from the path of the absolute truth, being desirous to suffer in hell, the Lord, in his incarnation as the sage Parashuram, uprooted those unwanted kings who appeared as the torrents of the earth. Thus he thrice, 7 times, uprooted the Kshatriyas with his keenly sharpened chopper. We will come to this lila later in Bhagavatam. Asmat prasada samukah kalaya kalesha ikshvaku vangsha avatirya guror nideshe tishtanvanam sa daitanuja avivesha Yasmin virudya dosha kandhara artin archat. Due to his causeless mercy upon all living entities within the universe, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with his plenary extensions, appeared in the family of Maharaj Ikshvaku as the Lord of his internal potency, Sita. Under the order of his father, Maharaj Dasharatha, he entered the forest and lived there for considerable years with his wife and younger brother. Ravan, who was very materially powerful, with 10 heads on his shoulders, committed a great offense against him and was thus ultimately vanquished. Ramchandra Bhagavan. Tomorrow we will hear about Sita Devi, his consort. Her appearance day is tomorrow. Yasma adat udadir uda bhayanga vepo margam sapadyari puram harava didaksho dure suhrin matita rosha sushona drishtya tatapyamana makaro araga nakra chakra. The personality of Godhead Ramachandra, being aggrieved for his distant intimate friend Sita, glanced over the city of the enemy Ravan with red-hot eyes like those of Hara, that is, who wanted to burn the kingdom of heaven. The great ocean, trembling in fear, gave him his ways because its family members, the aquatics like the sharks, snakes, and crocodiles, were being burned by the heat of the angry, red-hot eyes of the Lord. Vakshah stala sparsha rugna mahendra vaha danter virambita kakubjusha udahasam sadyo subih saha vineshyati dara hartur vispurjitair dhanusha ucharato di sainye. When Ravan was engaged in the battle, the trunk of the elephant which carried the king of heaven Indra broke in pieces. Having collided with the chest of Ravan, and the scattered broken parts illuminated all directions. Ravan therefore felt proud of his prowess and began to loiter in the midst of the fighting soldiers, thinking himself the conqueror of all directions. But his laughter, overtaken by joy, along with his very air of life, suddenly ceased with the tingling sound of the bow of Ramachandra, the personality of Godhead. Due to false ego, we think we are very competent. It is not true, but we think like that and we misbehave. It is like a bubble, and that bubble has to be, eventually it will be broken, then nothing is there. So here Sai Maharaj is telling, however powerful a living being may be, when he is condemned by God, no one can save him. And similarly, however weak one may be, if he is protected by the Lord, no one can annihilate him. Our Gurudev told, I have some weakness. My father has great affection for me. If I will not serve him, then I will give him pain. So this weakness is in my heart. I don't know whether I should join the mat. Then Parangurudev told, all conditioned souls, they have some weaknesses. But Supreme Lord has no weakness. So if you take shelter of him, then by his grace you can overcome all this. And you will not do any harm to your father. You will do good to your father by engaging yourself in the service of Krishna, because by serving Krishna you serve all, and you will commit no sin, because by serving Krishna all are properly served. Sarvadharma Paritaja, Krishna says, Moksha ishimi mashucha, don't worry. I will rescue you from all sins, although there is no sin. But Arjuna had to say like that, means express that doubt, so that Krishna can clear that doubt. There is nothing wrong. If someone completely engages in the service of Krishna, he will not neglect anything, but he will properly do that. So we may be proud, but ultimately we have nothing. Krishna is everything. Everything is his. All power is coming from him. So this false pride is always, we think the higher position I may get, the more I will be happy, but it is just the opposite. You will have to suffer more and more, and always in anxiety, how to keep that and how to cheat others about that position. So better to be sincere and that Trinada Pisunichana and engage sincerely in the service of Krishna. And we have to do it in a regulated manner in the beginning, because we have this type of anarthas for money, for sensual enjoyment, and for position. Ravan is personified for that. That demon is within us. So we have no natural liking to worship Krishna. So in the beginning we have to be regulated, like you have to hear Harikatha once in a day. You have to do Sandhya 2 times in a day or 3 times. You have to chant this number of rounds, and you have to offer all this in a regulated manner, because Maya is always pulling us and we are pulled. But if in a regulated, then immediately when we will enter into practice, then at least our mind will be little withdrawn from all those material things, and we can get some connection with God that is necessary in a regulated manner. Then when you will perform in a regulated manner, gradually you will get more and more taste, more and more happiness in service of Krishna, and because of that you will not be interested in other things. You will lose other desires. Then when you will cross that, when all the anarthas will be removed on the stage of ruchi, when you will have no other desire except causeless devotion to Krishna, then that spontaneous devotion can start practically. Then there will be no need for someone to discipline you in the service of Krishna, because you yourself will want to do it because of getting that taste. But before that we have to be regulated. If we avoid this regulation, it is actually harmful to us. We will be carried away by Maya. Bhumeh Sure Tara Varutha Vimarditaya Klesha Vyayaya Kalaya Sita Krishna Kesha Jatah Karishyati Jananu Palakshya Marga Karmani Chatma Mahimo Pani Bandhanani. When the world is overburdened by the fighting strength of kings who have no faith in God, the Lord, just to diminish the distress of the world, descends with his plenary portion. The Lord comes in his original form with beautiful black hair, and just to expand his transcendental glories, he acts extraordinarily. No one can properly estimate how great he is. Tokena jiva haranam yat ulukikayas trai masikasya chapada shakato pavrita yat ringatantara gatena divis prishorva unmulanam tvitaratha junayor nabhavyam. There is no doubt about Lord Krishna's being the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, how was it possible for him to kill a giant demon like Putana when he was just on the lap of his mother, to overturn a cart with his leg when he was only 3 months old, to uproot a pair of Arjuna trees so high that they touched the sky when he was only crawling? All these activities are impossible for anyone other than the Lord himself. Yes. Swami Maharaj is telling, one cannot manufacture a God by one's mental speculation or by numerical votes as has become a practice for the less intelligent class of men. God is God eternally, and an ordinary living entity is eternally part and parcel of God. Eternally we are His servant. This can never change. God is one without a second, and the ordinary living entities are many without number, innumerable. All such living entities are maintained by God Himself, and that is the verdict of the Vedic literatures. This is the translation of that verse from Upanishad. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Jobidadhati Kaman. He is one eternal among many eternals. He is one or chief conscious among many conscious. He is the one who is fulfilling the desires of the many. That is eternal truth. It can never change. So for us, it is in our best interest to serve Him. Then we will be benefited. So Krishna, even as a small, he killed Putana like this. Even if he appears in the form of ant, he has all powers. He can do whatever he likes. Yat vai vraje vraja pashun vishatoya pitan palam stvaji vayat anugraha drishti vrishtya tachudaye tivisha virya vilola jihvam uchatayi shyat uragam viharan haradinyam. Then also, when the cowherd boys and their animals drank the poisoned water of the river Jamuna, and after the Lord in his childhood revived them by his merciful glance, just to purify the water of the river Jamuna, he jumped into it as if playing and chastised the venomous Kalia snake, which was lurking there, its tongue emitting waves of poison. Who can perform such Herculean task but the Supreme Lord? And these all demons which Krishna killed, they are all certain anarthas, representing certain anarthas. Kaliya means cruelty. That has to be removed by Krishna from the heart. And Putana means taking shelter of not bona fide guru, one who teaches about material enjoyment or about renunciation. That is false guru. That also has to be killed. A natural guru for natural devotion of Krishna we have to accept. And all others, they are certain anarthas. So those who surrender to Krishna, Krishna will kill these demons inside our heart. And Baladev will also kill two demons, Pralambasur and Dhenukasur. But for those demons, we also have to give some effort from our part. Baladev is Guru, so Guru will give instructions. Those instructions we have to practically do, because we are a living entity with consciousness, means free will. So we have to act according to the instruction of Guru. Then when we will do that, when Gurudev will see that we are sincerely trying, then he will remove all those drawbacks by his grace. But we have to do our part. Of course, that which Guru orders, not according to our whims, but what Guru orders, those instructions we have to follow. Then we'll get grace. Tat karma divyam iva yan nishi nishayanam Davagnina Shuchivane Paridakhyamane Unesyati Vrajam Ato Vasitantakalam Netre Pidapya Sabalo Nadigamya Virya. On the very night of the day of the chastisement of the Kaliya snake, when the inhabitants of Brajabhumi were sleeping carefreely, there was a forest fire ablaze due to dry leaves, and it appeared that all the inhabitants were sure to meet their death. But the Lord, along with Balaram, saved them simply by closing his eyes. Such are the superhuman activities of the Lord. This is also this forest fire. There are two in Krishna Lila. One is oppression by the atheists. Krishna can save us from that. And another is group clashings. Because false egos, false interest, and that false interest, they will clash, and that fire will be produced, all the time fighting, as we see in this world, all the time fighting. That is forest fire. So from both forest fires, only Krishna can save us if we surrender to him. Grinita yat yat upabandam amushyamata shulbam sutasya natu tat tat amushyamati yach jirim bhato sya vadane bhuvanani gopi samvikshya shankita manah pratibodhi tasit. When the cowherd woman, means Jashoda, was trying to tie the hands of her son with ropes, she found the rope to be always insufficient in length. And when she finally gave up, Lord Krishna, by and by, opened his mouth, wherein the mother found all the universes situated. Seeing this, she was doubtful in her mind, but she was convinced in a different manner of the mystic nature of her son. Here two Leelas are together. Tying Krishna and also showing that. Both are displays that Krishna is not ordinary human being. That his personality, his form is unlimited. Mother Jashoda collected many ropes, 1 mile ropes tied together, but still every time it was 2 fingers short. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explained, one is God's grace, another is our sincere effort to serve him. When both are there, then Krishna can be tied. You can get service of Krishna. But if one is missing, then you cannot tie him. So because Yashoda was trying again and again, finally Krishna let her bind him. Before it was impossible. So Gyanis, they cannot understand how absolute or ultimate reality, supreme reality, can have a form, because they think immediately if we say form, it has limitations. But this is the case of form, material form. We have this experience. And omnipresence, if something has a form, he cannot be at all the places, in only one place. But they don't know about the Achintya Shakti of Supreme Lord, inconceivable power. Beyond our material experience and thinking power, he has. So he is unlimited person. His form is unlimited, but appears like medium size. So in this Lila it was shown, and also how it is possible that Jashoda could see whole material universe, many of them, inside the mouth of Krishna, and that it was not fake. It was proved by that that Jashoda could see herself inside Krishna, looking inside the mouth of Krishna. Means that particular universe where Krishna was appearing, and Krishna is there, Yashoda is there, and Yashoda is looking into the mouth of Krishna. And if she moves, there also moves. So universe was outside of Krishna, and whole universe was inside also of Krishna. How this is possible? Someone may think this is all mythology, but those who realized souls, they say it is the Achintya Shakti of Supreme Lord. It exists. It is not mythology. Really, it exists. He is omnipotent. We are now in limited limitations in these material experiences and mental capacity, intellectual capacity. We are in limited state. So judging based on this, we cannot change the absolute truth. We want to deny, but we cannot deny. That is unchallengeable truth. No one can deny. And it asserts itself, that truth. Like one rabbit, he sees one wolf trying to eat him. So rabbit, if he closes his eyes, then temporarily he may think there is no more danger. But that is not true. That wolf will anyway eat him. So the truth is always the truth. There are some people in this world, they think that they are creating the truth. What I think, I create. So what is beyond my thinking, then nothing is there. But the thing is that absolute truth is asserting itself. Even if you don't know about him, you are always under his control. You cannot change certain things, how much you want to try. And that will come. His desire will be fulfilled. We are reaping the fruits of our own actions. No one can change that. How much you want to deny or close your eyes or whatever, God is still there and He is asserting. He is giving the fruits and that will come. And all these laws and everything. And ultimately He is all merciful. He wants us to understand that enjoying Maya, this idea of enjoying Maya was a wrong choice. It is a mistake. It is not good. You have to give up this and serve Krishna. That is the whole purpose of this material existence, to realize this. Nandam chamokshati bhayat varunasya pashat gopan bileshu pihitan maya sununacha ahnyap pritam nishishayanam atishramena lokam vikuntam upaneshyati gokulam sma. Lord Krishna saved his foster father Nanda Maharaj from the fear of the demigod Varuna and released the cowherd boys from the caves of the mountain, for they were placed there by the son of Maya. That is Brahma, I think. Maya Sunna. Also, to the inhabitants of Vrindavan, who were busy working during daytime and sleeping soundly at night because of their hard labor in the day, Lord Krishna awarded promotion to the highest planet in the spiritual sky. All these acts are transcendental and certainly prove without any doubt his godhood. Someone may say, I don't believe this. I don't believe in your Shastra. This is all stories, fictitious stories, it is mythology. But the point is, even if we may say like that again and again, still the truth is always there and it is asserting itself. Those who are realized souls, they are directly perceiving. They can see, and everyone can see if they will accept the process. If someone does not want to accept the process and realize, but he is denying and doing certain activities, still he will not be detached from God, because God is controlling everything and he's giving the fruit. So he will teach him through that. So even if someone may claim, no, I don't believe, that does not change the reality. That reality is unchallengeable. No one can change. Even if how much you want to try, many demons, they wanted to try, but they cannot. So we have to, better it is to accept the truth than to fight against the truth. That will not benefit us. Gopair makhe pratihate vraja viplavaya deve vivarshati pashun kripaya rirakshu dharto chilindram Iva sapta dinani sapta varsho mahidram anaghaika kare salilam. When the cowherd men of Vrindavan, under instruction of Krishna, stopped offering sacrifice to the heavenly king Indra, the whole tract of land known as Braja was threatened with being washed away by constant heavy rains for 7 days. Lord Krishna, out of his causeless mercy upon the inhabitants of Braja, held up the hill known as Govardhan with one hand only, although he was only 7 years old. Bol Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Shri Giridhari Krishna ki Jai. Giridhari means one who is holding Giri, mountain. He did this to protect the animals from the onslaught of water. That was external, to protect Brajavasis. The real point was, because Krishna by one lila, he makes many things happen. Brajavasis, they were regretting, we cannot always see Krishna. Parents, when he goes to forest, they cannot see him at that time. Gopis at that time like this, but they had desire, we want to see him always. So Krishna, in order to fulfill that desire, he lifted Govardhan hill and called everyone beneath it. And Govardhan is Krishna also himself. And 7 days, 7 nights, they could constantly see Krishna, day and night, without any interruption. And they were getting such bliss, transcendental bliss, that they were not eating, sleeping, or drinking, because having complete bliss. And that is the main reason, to satisfy them. And as a side effect, or as a byproduct, or another effect, to crush the false pride of Indra and to protect the Brajavasis, and like this. Kriram vane nishakara rashmi gauryam rason mukha kala padayata murchitena udipta smara rujam vrajabrit vadunam hartur harishati shiro dhana danu gasya. Also, to introduce or to establish the worship of Krishna and his devotee, not of demigods. Krishna stopped the worship of demigods and established worship of Krishna as Govardhan, and Govardhan is also devotee of Krishna, as he's providing for everything for Krishna Lila. So worship of Krishna and his devotees, that is what we have to do, not demigod worship. And here, when the Lord was engaged in his pastimes of the rasa dance in the forest of Vrindavan, enlivening the sexual desires of the wives of the inhabitants of Vrindavan by sweet and melodious songs, a demon of the name Shankachura, a rich follower of the treasurer of heaven, Kuvera, kidnapped the damsels, and the Lord severed his head from his trunk. Here, in the commentary, Srila Sai Maharaj is telling, we should carefully note that the statements described herein are the statements of Brahmaji to Narad, and he was speaking to Narad of events that would happen in the future, during the advent of Lord Krishna. The pastimes of the Lord are known to the experts who are able to see past, present, and future. And Brahmaji, being one of them, foretold what would happen in the future. The killing of Shankachura by the Lord is a more recent incident after the Rasa Lila and not exactly a simultaneous affair. In the previous verses, we have seen also that the Lord's engagement in the affairs of the forest fire was described along with his pastimes of punishing the Kaliya snake, and similarly, the pastimes of the Rasa dance and the killing of Shankachura are also described herein, or also Mother tying Krishna and also seeing that universe inside. That was also together mentioned, although there is some gap, but that is Nitya Lila all. And those who realize souls, they get revelation of that Lila. In some universe it is happening, visible to all, but in the heart of pure devotee it is always happening. Even these Leelas which Krishna does on this earth. Because in Golok Vrindavan there is only Ashtakalya Lila, there is no pastimes of killing demons or Krishna growing up, taking birth, or this is not there. There are only Ashtakalya. But pure devotees, they can see these Leelas also which are happening in this material world of killing the demons, anarthas, all this, in their heart. The Brahma can see, so he can describe what will happen in future. Like Valmiki also, he wrote Ramayana before advent of Ramachandra, because already by chanting the name of Ram, he already purified his heart, and from that name the form, qualities and pastimes of Ramachandra also were revealed in his heart. So he wrote, and after that Ramachandra appeared, and that time Valmiki was also living. And when Sita was banished to the forest by Ramchandra, she came to the ashram of Valmiki. She was pregnant at that time. Valmiki already knew that this will happen because he saw it in his meditation before. And he taught them Ramayana. Sons of Ramachandra, Lob and Kush, he taught them Ramayana, and they were then reciting Ramayana, and Ramachandra was hearing later on. Then from hearing that Ramayana from his sons, he understood, oh, they are my sons. I did not know. Of course, that is also Leela of Ramachandra, human-like Leela. He knows everything. But this Leela was made. He did not know that Sita was pregnant with him. Later he came to know by hearing Ramayana. In Ramayana he heard that then Sita was banished to forest. She came to Valmiki's ashram, and there she gave birth to 2 sons, and that he heard and he knew. So this is Nitya Lila. The adjustment is that all these incidents would take place in the future after the time when it was being foretold by Brahmaji to Narad. The demon Shankachura was killed by the Lord during his pastimes at Horika in the month of Falguna in the same ceremony, and the same ceremony is still observed in India by the burning of the effigy of Shankachura one day prior to the Lord's pastimes at Horika, generally known as Holi, that is Gurpurnim also, Holi. Generally, the future appearance and the activities of the Lord or his incarnations are foretold in the scriptures, and thus the pseudo-incarnations are unable to cheat persons who are in knowledge of the events as they are described in the authoritative scriptures. For Kalki also there is description. He will appear. And Vyasadeva, his Shakti Avatar, he wrote Vedanta Sutra, we can say at certain period of time, like 5,000 years ago or before, but it is eternal, but he wrote it that time, and in that Vedanta Sutra, he already refuted the philosophy of Siddhartha Gautam, who will appear after 2,500 years later. How Vyasadeva already wrote the refutation of that philosophy? Because he knows what will happen and also what kind of misconceptions conditioned souls may have in the name of knowledge. He refuted all different kinds of false philosophies, misconceptions. That is why those who are scholars, modern scholars, they are not devotees, they don't understand. So they think it is impossible that this was written before. This was written after Siddhartha Gautam Buddha, otherwise it is impossible. But they don't know. They have no experience of eternality. Ye cha pralamba khara dardura keshi arishta maleba kanksa yavana kapi pondra kadya anye cha shalva kuja balvala dantavakra saptoksha shambara vidurata rukmi mukhya ye vamride samiti shalina ata chapa Kamboja Matsya Kuru Srinjaya Kaikayadya Yasyantya Darshanam Alam Bala Partha Bhima Vya Jahvayena Harina Nilayam Tadiyam. All demonic personalities like Pralamba, Dhenuk, Baka, Keshi, Arishta, Chanura, Mushtika, Kuvalaya Pida. Some will say Kuvalaya Pida. If you say in Bangla, it is Kuvalaya Pir. Or that cowherd boy Kushuma Pir. Kushuma Pida, they say. My name is Kushuma Pida Das. It's Kushuma Pir, because D with dot below is R, soft R. Like Gauria, It is not Gaudiya Mat, it is Gauriya, R, that soft R. Here also Kuvalaya Pir, or Pira with soft R, or Jor of Bharat. It is not Jada Bharat, it is Jor of Bharat. Or if you want to in Sanskrit, Jara Bharat. Kamsa, Jabana, Narakasur, and Paundraka, great marshals like Shalva, Dvivida, monkey, and Balvala. Dvivida is gorilla. Dantavakra, the 7 bulls, Shambara, Vidurata, and Rukmi, as also great warriors like Cambodia, Matsya, Kuru, Srinjaya, and Kekaya, would all fight vigorously, either with the Lord Hari directly or with him under his names of Baladev, Arjuna, Bhima, etc. They're all non-different from Krishna. They would be killed. And the demons, thus being killed, would attain either the impersonal Brahmajyoti or his personal abode in the Vaikuntha planets. Sayujya or Sarupya they get. So they are under false ego. They think, I can fight with Supreme Lord. Otherwise, how he will fight? If he will have belief in Supreme Lord and he will know who am I in relation to him, then there is no question of fight. Of course, Jai Vijay, they can do that as Lila. But the demons, they think falsely, I can, he's an ordinary one person, I can kill him. Though they may think like this, they're convinced, but still the truth is different. So when they are being killed, then they also realize that truth. That is also in Vedanta Sutra. They will realize. So it is not that if I don't believe something, that does not exist, or if I cannot see something or perceive or experience something, that does not exist. It exists and it is always asserting itself. Krishna is asserting. We are never outside of his control. Never. We may not be aware of or may not admit, but we are always. And through that we are learning. So these are also certain anarthas. Those demons in Vrindavan, they are certain anarthas. And those in Mathura, they are anarthas of Gyan for liberation. And these in Dwaraka, demons, they are, when Krishna was already stationed at Dwaraka and was killing these Dvivida and all this, they are demons, means anarthas of karma kand. So Krishna destroys everything for our eternal welfare. Kalena milita dhiyam avamrishya nrinam stokayusham svanigamo bata dura para avirhitastvanu yugam sahi satya vatyam Veda drumam vita pasho vibhajishyati sma. The Lord himself in his incarnation as the son of Satyavati, that is Vyasadeva, will consider his compilation of the Vedic literature to be very difficult for the less intelligent persons with short life, and thus he will divide the tree of Vedic knowledge into different branches according to the circumstances of the particular age. So many Shastra he wrote. It's very difficult to read everything. You have no time. 4 Vedas are very vast. That Rik, Yajur, Atharva, Sama, they are different. Their verses are combined in Samhitas, means mantras, into Samhitas, and then there are Aranyakas and Brahmanas with the rituals and mantras, everything, and then Upanishads. And then you have 108 Upanishads. And Vedanta Sutra and Mahabharata is very long, 100,000 verses. And 18 Puranas, they're also very long. Some are longer than Bhagavatam. Padma Puran, Skanda Puran, Agni Puran, so many Puranas. Who can read all this? And Bhagavad Gita. And then we have, after the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so many books, so many commentaries on Bhagavad Gita by Gauriya Vaishnava Acharyas, followers of Mahaprabhu. They are giving from different angles. And commentaries on Bhagavatam. And Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, and Rupa Goswami, he wrote so many books. Vidagdha Madhava, Lita Madhava. Jiva Goswami wrote so many. It is impossible to read everything. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur also now, he wrote so many. Even his works, difficult to read all what he wrote. But the point is the same. Sambandha Avidya Prayojana. They're explaining these 3 topics, all Shastra. We are related to Krishna. We have to serve him and get love of Godhead. That is the purpose of all. So our Param Gurudev, he told, I heard it from Gurudev, that he said, only you read Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's books. You will get everything. Really, everything is there. He made the essence of all Goswami's Veda, Bhagavad, everything, essence he made very easy to understand, but we have to practice. Then we can get realization. So tomorrow we will observe one holy day. We will hear about them. Sita Devi and Jannava Devi appearance tomorrow.